Today I have a very, very, very special guest of mine. I share time with her in the gym. I see her work ethic. I see how she has sprouted herself into one of Tucson's most pristine trainers, both results-wise, both personality-wise, and just everything in between. Being able to host this special individual is very meaningful to me because I feel like she holds a lot of value that I cannot wait for her to give to you guys. So without further ado, allow me to introduce my guest for today's episode. Tysheena.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on my episode today. It is such an honor to have you in here and sharing space and giving you the microphone to tell your story. So I think that these people aren't waiting for me to tell them about you. I think they would love for you to tell them about yourself. So I think it's time to unpack and unload whatever you want these people to know about Tysheena Hill.
I almost teared up over there. Thank you for that introduction.
I try my best.
Yeah.
I try.
My name is Tysheena Hill, and I have been a trainer for about 11 years now. I was born and raised in Washington, and I moved to Tucson, Arizona when I was 7 years old. I love it here. I call it home. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. It's been a pleasure working alongside Travell. I've actually learned a lot from him, and we have very similar training styles, but also very different. And I love how we can kind of just like come side to side, and even just like bring our ideas together and evolve and grow together. So it's been a pleasure.
No doubt. I think that being around a certain environment, brings out certain styles of not just even a trainer, but it could be a chef, it could be just anything in the world. But I think if you have somebody there that kind of challenges you, but also helps you like gain ideas from, and then like kind of picks the brain, it's all help with like growth of a professional. And given your background of training, you said that you started off in California with your training career. So tell us a little bit more about how that started and how it's kind of gotten you here to this day.
There's so much that I could break down when it comes to that. I've constantly grown and evolved as a trainer, whether that's like life incidences or circumstances that arose that challenged me and forced me to evolve and grow as a person. And that just kind of poured into other areas of my life, and it's also poured into my training. I'm very proud of where I'm at today with my work. Obviously, there's always room for growth, but I'm very proud of how far I've come and what I bring to the table as a trainer. And I just love seeing my clients grow and be challenged. Like I get clients that have come to me that have never trained before, and they're training so well, and they're having so much fun with it along the way as well.
Nice. Yeah, getting these new ones who know nothing about exercise is always like a new project for us as trainers. Is like, okay, how can I teach this person who's so different from these other clients of mine who are now kind of seasoned in the gym, but kind of remembering how to scale it all back and starting from ground level, and then seeing their evolution and their progression throughout their whole training programs that you put them through and you curate for them. So
so even the word teach, because I do like to bring more of an educational based approach to my training, where I like to educate people why this many sets, why this many reps, what the weight should feel like, and understanding the weight distribution when it comes to like wherever they're at and whatever their goal is, and what progressive overload looks like while keeping it functional. So more of like a functional strength training approach, to where we're not just worried about the load, we're not just bodybuilding, but also thinking about movement for life and like things that you would do and how you would position and move your body on a day-to-day to keep it stronger and more functional.
Absolutely. That's good. And I do want to address the fact that Ty here just found out she tore her ACL and MCL. So as functional as we were supposed to be for this episode, I think that we have to scale it back a little bit because of her injury. But I think that this is not going to stop you from doing what it is that you know you can do, but also it will probably expose a lot of other areas in your life that you didn't even know you could grow in. So, and speaking from myself, I think that a lot of people have dealt with ACL tears, and I think that you now experiencing one, your mindset going into it, like how are you going to come out of it, and what life after a torn ACL is. And I think that you can give a good depiction of what your thoughts are going into it, and then kind of shedding light on what it's like after an ACL repair.
Yeah.
So kind of give us your insights on where your head is at dealing with this torn ACL of yours.
I feel good. I feel like if it happened at any other time in my life, I probably would spiral and freak out. But because I also have a good base and a good understanding of the body, I feel confident knowing that I'm just going to get back to work and doing what I'm able. Like, I'm not helpless. So if there's something that I am able to do, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to work every day at it to get back to a healthy state so I can obviously show up in life and for my clients. And I just love movement overall. So this has been the case for about 5 weeks now, so it's really been a bummer. There's a common saying that, we usually take things for granted until something happens, but I really don't take my body and movement for granted. Every day I'm utilizing it in any way that I can, but it is kind of hitting me that I can't run and I can't move and I can't train, and it's something that I truly enjoy doing and always look forward to doing. So that's been a bummer, having to take a break from my business. I did have other goals and plans that I've been working very diligently on and mildly silent on.
Save that for the end.
Okay.
That's going to be the meat.
We will get back to that.
That's the dessert part, but yes.
We will get back to that.
Keep going, but don't give them it yet, just yet.
So I do have an appointment with the surgeon on Tuesday. And then we are going to kind of just review, make sure everything is what it is. And then we're going to be moving forward into booking the surgery. And then it looking like a 9-month-ish or so recovery.
Mm-hmm. Hey, slow grind.
Yeah.
Is better than, just dealing with or neglecting something, and you never know what it could turn into later. Yeah. So just dealing with it on the front end and getting it past you on the back end, and then just whatever life has for you afterwards,
yes,
I'm sure you'll be able to tackle it.
Yes.
Well, I think matter of fact, I know I will keep that in mind. So our workouts today will be nothing but upper body, if that's cool with you.
Yes.
Keeping it functional, keeping it nice and spiced up for us, because you're not a beginner, and I think that I could kind of challenge you with some movements, and you will do well as far as receiving them and performing them. So without further ado, we're gonna get to it and take you guys on down the road, tell you a little bit more about who Tysheena Hill is and what she stands for.
Yeah.
With this band, I like to go Y raises, kind of prep the scaps and that posterior chain on the upper body.
Okay.
So putting it through your hands and right in between your trigger finger and your thumb. So from here, starting eye level, going up and behind your head, and then bringing it right back to your eye level. 1, up, 2. Okay, so we'll shoot for about 15 of those. Ask you a couple questions, see what we get. What value does functional exercise bring to you as an individual?
So I used to do like NPC bikini competitions, and I used to just solely focus on bodybuilding. And I started to experience injuries in my knee, my hip, my shoulders. And that's when I started to learn a lot more about exercise and functional training and how to really actually take care of the human body. And then it's really just about experience and knowledge as you go. And as I started to implement functional training on myself, I started to just enjoy it so much more. I was feeling so much better. I wasn't as tight or sore. My pain in my body started going away. My injury started going away. And I also had the excitement of different styles of training, variety, instead of just doing the same thing all the time, although that is an important factor of building muscle and getting stronger is progressive overload. So you will be doing a lot of the same movements, but it actually doesn't have to be boring, as common as you may hear that. Mm-hmm. Functional training has brought in a lot more joy and excitement and variety to my training, which also allows me to be more excited about it. I don't sit in my car and dread my workouts, or so it's been a multifaceted
kind of experience for me that I love introducing to my clients as well.
I like that. I think you touched on the whole not getting boring kind of thing, but also like boring can be good, especially when we're trying to implement strength and not just go for what looks cool. You know, functional exercise doesn't always have to be bands mixed with dumbbells, mixed with kettlebells and doing this, that, and the other. I think if you can really like scale it down to your conventional lifts as far as a bench press, a deadlift, a row, a curl, a sit-up, a press, like if you can keep those and maintain those movements all while kind of utilizing creativity that you like consume like over the years of being around trainers, around different gyms, being in different books that you learn from, it's like, okay, well, how do I keep the main thing the main thing?
Yeah.
And that's what really like gets these clients of both of ours and even just trainers in general, that's what gets them their results, because now if we're throwing them just different things this day, different things this week, then they don't really get a chance to like digest and, you know, get better, adapt to like different weights, or like you were saying before, like weight distribution. Like I don't know what a bench press is supposed to feel like because I only did it once this month, but in reality, like bench press is supposed to kind of stay consistent in a training program just as any other exercise, but also sprinkle some pizzazz in there. So that's it right there. I like that answer. So we got one more set and we got one more question. Okay. So what challenges would you say to this day come about from being a female trainer in the industry? What's kind of come with it?
That's a good question. Maybe we could think about that one.
You gotta put your thinking cap on for this.
I don't know what it's like to be a man in the industry, but what I have heard commonly from clients is they feel a lot more comfortable with women, especially men. Too. I mean, just from my own experience, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I think women tend to have a little bit more compassion. Right. Maybe can feel people out a little bit more. Again, that might
all the way down,
not
and
be
then rep it out.
All the way down here.
Yeah, and now just rep it out.
That might not be the case for everybody, but I think people just naturally feel, especially women, feel more of a connection and just feel safer with women trainers.
Do you get any like pushback from any male clients you have trained as far as like you don't know what you're talking about, or like you're not doing this correctly?
I have had a few, maybe just a couple, who challenged me in that way.
Let's go 3 more.
These guys kind of had a little bit of an ego. They came to me for something specific. Tightness, soreness, injury, pain, but they didn't want to lower the weights. They didn't want to implement the tempos. They're constantly complaining about certain exercises that they didn't want to take the time to do. And that's all a part of it. So if you're having those kinds of issues, a lot of times you have to do the work that you don't normally want to do. Maybe the stuff that isn't so pretty. A lot of times it is fun and exciting to just drill the load, drill the weights, drill the intensity. But sometimes you do have to slow it down.
Right.
And I have come across a few who just didn't want to do that even though they needed it.
True. So it's like, even though they hire you as a coach, they still feel like they can kind of tell you like how to coach them in a way, which is kind of backwards.
And that kind of comes with the territory. You're not for everybody, and every client's not for you. So you just have to sometimes just say, you know what, maybe I'm just not the trainer for you, and that's okay. Yeah,
that kind of builds respect the long way versus them kind of just being a dollar sign, like, okay, well, you're paying me, so I'm just going to continue. I won't be honest with you about whatever elephant is in the room that we don't want to address. But I think like, okay, I'll address this, you know, like, are you thinking the same thing? Are you not? Like, where do we, like, having that transparency with clients is key. Next one, before we get up out of this movement, and this can be quick. Have you ever struggled, this is again being a female trainer, with clients that hire you as their trainer, but then they to flirt, I guess would be the safest thing to say?
I think I've only experienced that once, maybe twice. And I'm pretty serious with my training, so I think I already kind of set that tone and set that standard of that's not how our training is going to happen. and I take my job very seriously. So if you come in here, or especially if you're a male client, that's just not going to go down. I would address it and I would confront it. Luckily, I haven't had to do that, probably because of how serious I am.
Yeah.
But
that's just like being professional about your job. And I think that goes for men too. But I think, if people come in with the wrong idea, like, okay, well, I just been wanting to get close to this person. So now that I have her here, I can shoot my shot. When in reality, like I'm about my business. It's like, you can't come in here and throwing me off my pivot because of whatever you feel. So
I've had a few messages along those lines where I was kind of picking that up and I would never take them on as a client.
And that's professional right there. That's how you keep the money coming in.
Yes.
All right. So our next one on this list is going to be 2 movements put in one. So this is going to be a cable row and then to an overhead press with the shoulders. So I think every trainer's journey is different. Some people may start being overweight, and that's kind of what kickstarted them into wanting different for themselves. Some people may have had an injury occur, and that they're rehabbing themselves, or that kind of showed them a different side. So what's been your reason as far as like why you wanted to kickstart your training journey and it kind of transformed into a business?
Okay, so I started working out when I was 15 in my living room watching Julian Michaels.
Ooh.
And then when I was 16, I got my first job when I was 15. And then I started, paying my own bills.
Big girl stuff.
And so I got my first gym membership. And then I started working at a smoothie bar inside LA Fitness in Tucson, Arizona. This was before I moved to California. And am I switching?
Yes.
And I used to see this girl come in, and this is where I learned a lot about supplements. And I used to see this girl come in. She was training for fitness competitions, and I was just so like in awe over her. And I always thought to myself that I would do one day. And then as I got older, I moved to California. The first year moving back, I got my personal training certification. But as I became a trainer, I learned that you can be so excited about exercise, love training yourself, love lifting and all these things, but being a trainer is completely different. Training others is so different compared to training yourself. You have to learn how to adapt to others, and that comes with time and experience and obviously education. So that's been a huge learning curve for me, and I always wanted to help people, but it took time to fully evolve into the trainer that I am today, and that's why I never talk down about other trainers or where they're at in their journey, because we all have the opportunity to grow, and it took me a long time to get to this place. And that's
10 years, 11 years now?
Yeah, almost 11 years.
So it's not an overnight thing.
It's not an overnight thing. And so you have to definitely learn as you go, but you do have to learn how to be intentional. You have to learn how to be present. I think it also helps a lot if you walk the walk and practice what you preach.
For sure. I don't think anyone would listen to somebody who doesn't practice what they preach. Not saying that somebody who's not the biggest can't teach someone how to attain a certain physique, because sometimes it's not always like what we look like on the outside, but somebody could have a really sharp intellect on the whole body functions and just everything that goes into fitness, but they don't look like a macho man that lifts that benches 405 and stuff like that. But I think having that like knowledge comes from applying it to your personal life, so you know what works, what doesn't work, as far as exercises, maybe foods, so stuff like that too. So have your goals always been the same since you've been training yourself? Not others, but yourself.
So I've been an independent contractor for 9, almost 10 years.
One more? All the way down now,
And it's so easy to stay there because you're overhead, financially.
Right.
It's a good place to be. It's also a great opportunity to continue to learn and grow and invest into your education, because obviously when you take those next steps into being a trainer, maybe that's opening your own space or making greater investments. Things change.
Good job.
So what have your goals? Some of my goals always been the same. I'm gonna have to pause right here. For myself personally,
I am so happy I transitioned out of wanting to go down the road of NPC bikini competitions. It built a very unhealthy relationship with food, with myself. A natural part of the sport is obviously comparison, and you're being judged. That's the whole part of it. So you have to learn how to receive that well if you're going to go into the sport. But for me, it was not good for my mental health. And obviously I was a lot younger at the time, so I probably didn't really know how to handle those kinds of things as well as I could now. But I always wanted to just be a healthy person. I was so tired of the constant back and forth, the spiraling, the binge eating, the under eating, the constant like living in comparison, feeling like I had to eat this super strict diet all the time. I really wanted to just be healthy. I wanted to learn, like, what is it like to be healthy? What does that look like? I wanted to have variety with food. I'm such a foodie. And so throughout that time, I had to learn a lot about food and a lot about training as well. And so it's kind of just like elevated my life as a whole. Being healthy has allowed me to have this confidence I don't think that I would have found. Knowing that I'm doing something that I actually enjoy. It's not something that I feel like I have to force or like just copy what everybody else is doing. I have my own training style. I love nutrition. I love eating healthy. And so really my goal is just taking what's been successful as well as pairing that with knowledge and education and then transpiring that into others. So I would say that is my goal right now.
Nice. I think those are better goals because it's easy to talk about self, like, oh, I want to look like this, or I wanted to have this kind of physique and doing this. But I think you said you hit the nail right on the head as far as like your goal was to just live. What is it like to live healthy? What is it like to be healthy? And healthy doesn't always mean like someone who looks it, but you also have to like feel it internal too.
Internal for sure.
And so you know, health, you know, there's mental health, there's physical health, there's spiritual health, there's health in all different aspects. So I think that kind of bridges me into my next question for you. We're going to get started on this next set though, and then I'll ask you about that.
All right.
I think that one thing you highlight very well is your past struggles. And I think that vulnerability makes yourself a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Appealing or like attractive or?
Like, no, I think that makes it a lot more real, you know, because it's easy to portray on Instagram or Twitter or just anywhere that like you're perfect, you work out, you know, you got a body that, let's say this person would love to kind of achieve, or you have the money that this person would like to have in their bank account or whatever the case may be, but at the same time you're human. And us as humans struggle. We deal with struggle often, and I think that you highlight your struggle with Adderall. So kind of tell us about where that has gotten you, where it took you for a little bit, but how you kind of got out of that.
That's a good question. A loaded question.
Very loaded.
I had been taking Adderall for years. A large part of my life was consumed by Adderall. And if anybody knows about Adderall, when you take, like let's just say 30 milligram pill, I was taking like 6 or 7 of those a day.
Sheesh.
So I was cracked out for sure. Some days I wouldn't sleep at all. I would go 2-3 days on no sleep. It took a toll on my life. Eventually got to the point to where I couldn't hide it anymore. And I didn't seek help. I kept it to myself and I fought it alone. And that is why I stayed in it. And I slowly started feeling like I was losing my life, and I was, but still really good at hiding it. No one knew. I don't know how, but I did. And here, I'll finish this rep. And my honest and most truthful part of it is I wouldn't have been able to overcome it without God. And there were so many nights where I was just down on my knees, crying and begging God to help me get over this Adderall addiction. Addiction as a whole, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't think. My emotions were uncontrollable. I couldn't think logically or reasonably. I was just lost. I felt like I was in this small, confined black box, and I just couldn't see or find my way out for years and years and years. And imagine going through life like that, and no wonder why I couldn't get anywhere. I was constantly hiding from people, running from people, a lot of conflict that was confusing to people because there was an underlying problem that I didn't bring to the light, or that I was too ashamed to bring to the light, or just wasn't ready to,
let people in.
I didn't know who I could trust. And I was looking for that person for a really long time. And then finally I just gave in. And usually that's what it takes.
Yeah,
and that's why
surrender.
My relationship with God is so tight. I'm all in my faith and in my walk with God. And it took a lot to get there, and that's why I'm so thankful for grace and for mercy and for forgiveness, because without it, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. I wouldn't be where that I'm at today. And God walked with me through it all. I had so many powerful moments that are just between God and I that proved to me that He was real. And so I really like to embody that, because a lot of people are struggling with addiction in so many ways, and they're keeping it inside, and they don't know who to talk to or share to about it. And honestly, there's people that can help you and guide you in the right direction, but there's nobody that can actually save you from it except through Jesus Christ and through God Himself. And I'm grateful for my experience with Adderall. I would not change it for the world. I don't know where I'd be or who I'd be without those experiences, and I truly don't believe that I'd have the strength or be the woman that I am today. So
absolutely. Yeah. It gives you a whole different purpose when you understand, okay, well, whatever selfish desires I had, whatever reason, I began taking Adderall, it's nothing compared to what Jesus has done for your life and how many doors He's opened and just the opportunities He's given you, being clean and being saved and free of that, that darkness that you were living in. And so you would have never found that if you never would have went through it. And I think that it's a testimony to not just yourself, but to others who may be struggling with addiction of whatever sort. And Jesus is the only way. I can't even lie. Jesus is the only way to get out of whatever struggle, whatever dark place, whatever fear, worry, anxiety you have. Give it all to Jesus, and He will take it all away from you. Do you have a favorite scripture?
I have quite a few. 1 Corinthians 13. And it just talks about you can have all the knowledge and know all the mysteries of the world and have a faith that moves mountains, but if you do not have love, you are nothing. You're just a resounding gong or a cymbal. You're just making noise. And so when God continues, or the verse continues to explain what love is, I just started to implement those things in my life, and the fruit that was produced from it, like nothing else in the world could do for me. I could go to all the counseling and read all the books and do all the things, but it was the Word of God that changed my heart and corrected me and molded me into the person that I am today. And that is proof. If I didn't trust or believe or apply those things, who knows
where you would be.
I might claim I believe in God, but or in Jesus, but if I didn't actually apply it and trust it and put my hope and my faith in it, I still don't believe that I would be where I'm at today.
Rightfully so. I love that. I think that you do a great job of embodying what it is to be a good Christian, what it is to be a good leader to others who look to you for guidance. So keep on doing it, girl. 1 minute on the clock. Do not stop. We can go freestyle however you want, but these ropes cannot stop, all right?
Oh boy, okay.
What's next for Tysheena Hill?
I've thought about that. I would say just first things first, which is getting through the surgery. And honestly, I would say I'm in the wilderness on this one. I don't know why this happened. I mean, I know how the injury happened, but because God's been such a large part, the forefront of my plans. And I'm just curious as to what He's going to teach me. And so I'm just kind of confused. And so I think I'm just going to spend quite a bit of time in the wilderness with Him and just listen and figure out what's next. Obviously, moving in action
and keeping moving forward with my goals, and God's going to pave the way. But the goal is to just be still and listen in this season.
That's all you can do is be still.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for giving us your time, giving us your testimony.
Of course.
And,
thanks for having me.
Hey, it's here.
This is fun.
It's good. I think that, just being around the environment has taught me a lot about you, because we get to share the same space on a daily basis. I see your clients come in, they're always so happy, and it's like, they see something in you, and I felt like it would be nice to kind of give others who don't get to see you on a daily basis kind of what you do, how you do it, why you do it. So thank you for your time. I'm out of breath.
Yes. I could have gotten a little longer.
Sheesh, not me. So yeah, I will make sure to add her social media handles down below. And if you or anyone you know could benefit from her testimony or benefit from her profession and business, please reach out to her. She's amazing. She does her job really well. And I'm excited for everyone to get to hear this part of you.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, girl. Thank you for everything.